Lesson 8.3, Linear Equations. Linear equations have the following characteristics. The graph is a straight line. The equation contains one or two variables only. The equation contains no exponents on the variables. The equation contains no variables in the denominators of fractions, and no variables under a radical. The variables in a linear equation are most commonly x and y is generally dependent, and x is generally independent. The standard form of a linear equation is ax plus by equals c. A, b, and c will all be integers. A will be positive, x and y will have no exponents, and linear equations can be used to represent real-world situations. So, for example, the school band is having a fundraiser in order to pay for a trip to perform at a national competition. They need to raise $7,500 to pay for the trip. They are selling CDs that are produced for $25 and coupon books for $30. If we write an equation to represent how many of each item they need, we can do that. We can call the CDs x, we can call the coupon books y. CDs are $25 each, so 25x would be the total raised from the CDs, and the coupon books are 30, so 30y would give us the total raised by the coupon books, and we need that to equal $7,500. Next, we want to talk about slope. Slope is the steepness of a line, like the slope of a mountain. The larger the value, the steeper the line. Slopes can be positive, negative, 0, or undefined. And we can tell if a slope is one of these because as we move the way we would read, so from left to right, if it's positive, the slope will go up. If it's negative, the slope will go down. If it's 0 slope, it will remain flat. And if it's undefined, it will be straight up and down. Slope is defined as rise over run. Rise being how far you go up or down, and run being how far you go left or right. I guess that should have been right or left. If slope is positive, it moves up. If slope is negative, it moves down. There are different ways to represent an equation. Standard form again is ax plus by equals c. A, b, and c will all be integers. A is positive. Slope-intercept form is of the form y equals mx plus b. M is the slope, and b is the y-intercept. This is the place where the line crosses the y-axis. Then we have something called point slope form. Y minus y sub 1 is equal to m times x minus x sub 1. X and y are variables that stay x and y. They don't change. Y1 and x1 are a point on the line, and it can be any point on the line. M will be the slope. So we want to identify some forms of the equations. We're going to state whether each of these is in slope-intercept, standard, or neither. So in our first example, we have y is equal to 3x minus 6. Now slope-intercept is y equals mx plus b. Standard is ax plus by equals c. Looking at this equation, we can see that it looks like this format. So this is slope-intercept. 4x plus 6y equals 10. That looks like this format, and I have 3 integers, and the coefficient on x is positive, so this is standard. Negative 5y plus 1/2 x equals 8. Now the fact that the y and the x are out of order doesn't matter, but the fact that this is a fraction makes this neither. Because if it was standard form, a, b, and c have to be integers. Here I have 3y plus 6x equals 8. These two are not in necessarily the right order. However, that's an easy fix, so this would be standard form. 3x plus 4y equals 2/3. 2/3 is a fraction. Standard form cannot have fractions, so that's neither. Y equals 3/4 x minus 8. This is in slope-intercept form. Negative x plus 5y minus 8 equals 0. This is neither. And then 4x minus 8y equals 9. That is standard. So we need to be able to identify those forms because later we'll need to work with the various forms and convert between them. So converting between standard and slope-intercept, we need to solve for y. So we want it to be y equals everything else. Okay, so I'll bring up our examples. So the first thing we want to do is we want to pick this 3x up and we need to move it to the other side. We can just pick it up and move it, but we change the sign when that happens. Plus 10. The next thing we do is we divide everything by the coefficient on the y. So I get y is equal to negative over negative is a positive, and 10 divided by negative 5 is negative 2. Now if you don't want to just pick up and move, we can actually subtract our x from both sides. These will cancel and I'll get negative 5x. Oops, no I won't. Sorry about that. I'll get 4y is equal to negative 5x plus 9. Then I divide by 4. And I'll have y is equal to negative 5 over 4x plus 9 over 4. I'm going to go back to the picking up and moving. If I pick up and move, I change the sign. So that positive 2x becomes a negative 2x. I divide everything by the 6 that's on the y, and I get y is equal to 2 doesn't divide by 6, but these are both even, so I need to reduce that to 1/3. Basically, I divide them both by 2, and I get 1/3. 8 doesn't divide by 6, but again, I divide them both by 2, so I will have 4/3. And then finally, if I want to go back to the subtracting method, I have negative 7y is equal to negative 8x plus 21. Divide everything by negative 7, and I get y is equal to positive 8 over 7 because two negatives make a positive, minus 3.